I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land we meet today and pay our respect to the elders past and present and extend our welcome to any Aboriginal people joining us today. Sadly, when I looked up the history on the Aboriginal people in Surfers Paradise, nothing came up. It just talked about the white settlement. This was extremely shocking that the place that tourists come to visit has no visible Aboriginal history. While walking along the beaches, you can still see that we respect the land of the beaches like the Aboriginal people respect their land. But as you walk along the street, there is no respect and you can see rubbish everywhere. As we learn throughout this course that the culture is forgotten about, you can see throughout the city that this history is still going. The only culture you see within Surfers Paradise is the duty-free shops that are selling fake boomerangs and didgeridoos. This is extremely upsetting that their culture is only being used as money grabbers instead of telling the real history of the Aboriginal people to the tourists that do not understand the Australian history. While I walked through Surfers Paradise, it just made me relive some of the courses that we have learned, and it shows that as a suburb, we've not grown as a country, that they are still being forgotten about in this town. Another thing that I have noticed while living in this town is the privilege that is so adherent through this town. Sadly, you don't see any Indigenous people living within this suburb. This sadly could be because the prices of living are through the roof, and when they would apply for a house, they'd get knocked back straight away. Another way privilege is really obvious is you hardly see any Indigenous people holidaying in this town, as this tourist destination costs a fortune to holiday in, and there is no in-between. When I went through the history walk, the pictures of the history is only the white privileged people and stating this was the best life. I kept walking to see if I could find anything with dark people in the pictures and there wasn't. I was shocked. I feel that this town is trying to be multicultural, but sadly they forget about the first culture that walked this land. I personally believe there needs to be a big change within this town and there needs to be more Indigenous culture throughout this suburb. I feel saddened when walking through this town as you see that the land that Aboriginal people respect has been used to bring money in. No respect to the elders or owners on the land you see, just high-rises, a tourist attraction and money-making destination. But I do love how much love and respect they do show to the beaches and the surrounding parks along the beaches. It shows that we do have some respect for the natural habitat throughout the land. Sadly, my personal history of engagement with Indigenous people is bare minimum prior to this course. I'd only learnt the positives about the history through the school education, and a personal experience was a school excursion to Currumbin Wildlife Centre and we watched the traditional dances. Other than that, I had no prior engagement within the history, culture or the people. So while learning the course content, it has really been tear-jerking and shocking that at only this age that I'm learning the truth about the history while watching some of the documentaries. It made me realise that the land we live on, the history is just as bad as Hitler. And I sat and wondered why through school I had learned how bad Hitler was, but the education system was never honest on how bad the English settlement was. I found this course made me really open my eyes and not believe everything, as there is always hidden agendas. As a nation, we want to be proud of our country, so we try to forget about the bad history and we try to live as a positive country.